In 2022, energy prices doubled. Millions of people and businesses watched their cost of living explode overnight and their lives change forever. Some never saw it coming. Others saw it coming but felt powerless to stop it. But here's what nobody told you. While you were getting crushed, some of the biggest energy consumers in the world saved themselves billions. They didn't get lucky. They didn't even have insider information. They used a 40-year playbook that's been hiding in plain sight. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what they did and how you can use the same strategy to protect yourself before the next spike hits. Because it doesn't take an expert to realize that energy prices will climb again. There's booming data center demand. There's net zero investments, there's global chaos. And this time, you're not going to be the one left holding the bag. If you want to stop gambling with your cost of living, you're in the right place. Here's the rule that separates winners from losers in the energy trading game. If you know you're going to spend the money, lock in the price today. And that's it. That's actually the entire playbook. And every powerhouse institution on earth lives by it. Airlines, they're all about hedging jet fuel, but some do it better than others. And that's how they outcompete each other. Ryanair's systematic hedging strategy has given them a massive competitive advantage, locking in fuel years ahead while competitors scramble. Delta Airlines in the US, they were so obsessed with controlling fuel costs, they bought an entire oil refinery. So just think about that, a $150 million refinery purchase just to get an edge in energy markets. And cruise lines, they hedge fuel oil years in advance. And that's why your Caribbean vacation doesn't suddenly cost £500 more because oil spiked last month. Manufacturers, they fix electricity prices to keep the lights on and workers employed, standard practice for energy-intensive industry. And Microsoft are going even further. They've just signed a 20-year deal to restart the nuclear reactor 3 Mile Island exclusively to power their AI data centers. They're literally reviving nuclear power plants to lock in stable energy. And in the US, where AI is projected to consume 106 gigawatts by 2035, even Disney hired energy traders to hedge their power by the hour, making sure a price surge doesn't shut down their theme parks. And just think about what that means. Disney, one of the most profitable companies on the planet, hedges power. Microsoft, reviving nuclear reactors. Delta owns a refinery. If they're going to the extremes, what does that tell you about what's coming? This isn't some Wall Street luxury. This is survival. It should be standard practice for every household drowning in fuel poverty, which now affects millions. Because here's the reality. UK energy costs doubled after 2022, and experts are warning it's about to get worse. Net zero transitions, supply constraints, geopolitical chaos. But while you're getting hammered by every spike, these institutions are sleeping soundly. Because they hedged. They turned energy from a wild card into a shield. And you can too. But firstly, there is a critical part of the energy market you have to understand. If everyone knew this existed and could utilize it, the game would change overnight. And here it is. Right now, as you're watching this, your future energy prices are being traded. Not just tomorrow's price, not just next week's. I'm talking about the price you'll pay in the next 6 months, 12 months, even 24 months from now. It's called the forward market. This is a financial market you can trade like stocks and cryptocurrencies. And it's happening right now, whether you're paying attention or not. And think about that for a second. While you're stuck paying whatever your supplier charges you today, there's an entire market pricing your future. Large institutions hedging, speculators taking bets on supply and demand, geopolitical risks, weather patterns, everything. And here's the part that should absolutely blow your mind. Many times, right now, today, you can lock in your prices lower than what you're currently paying. Let me repeat that. Lower than what you're paying right now, but for the future. So let me show you what I mean. Today, the diesel pump price in the UK is around £1.45 per litre, but the forward market is trading next year's diesel price at £1.35. That's hundreds of pounds of savings for a typical household. That's tens of thousands of savings for a business, but only if you know how to look and only if you know how to lock it in. So how does this price difference even exist? Well, traders are pricing in all this hedging and sentiment of the future. Again, just like people taking views on Bitcoin or Nvidia, they're making predictions, taking positions, And that net result of all that buying and selling creates a forward price. And if those predictions result in a lower price for you, well, you should be able to take advantage of that so you can save money for your future, so you can get better margins for your business. If you're just sitting there waiting for your supplier to give you a better deal, you are doomed to wait. Because by the time that future date arrives, when you could have locked in cheap energy, the market will have moved on. Prices will have changed, and that window, gone. You may never realize those lower prices. Worse than that, your supplier has access to this market and is fixing in costs. They may even offer you a fixed term, but that won't be close to the better price you could have secured for yourself. Why? Because they know you have no idea about this market. They know you can't access it, and they know you can't do anything about it. As a result, you'll be stuck paying whatever the market demands at that moment. And meanwhile, the institutions who locked in months ago, they're paying the price they chose, not the price they were given. And that's the difference. They're not hoping for lower prices. They're locking them in when they appear. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you how to do yourself. So here's what they know that you don't. Institutions don't jump in blind. They have a powerful 3-question framework that you can adopt today. So let's break it down. The first question, what are you exposed to? There are your direct and indirect energy costs. Understanding what you're exposed to is the first crucial step toward taking control. If you want to dive deeper into calculating these costs, check out the previous video. Now, the second question, when are you exposed to these prices? Timing is everything. You've got to map your exposure to the seasons when your energy costs typically spike. Think about winter heating demands, summer travel fuel needs, or periods of peak business activity if you're a business. Now, the third question, what protects you? Now, this is when it gets serious. You need to find and select contracts that relate to your energy bill as closely as possible. This could include UK gasoline contracts for drivers, power contracts for electricity, or a basket of energy contracts to shield against inflation. If you understand your exposure and the timing, you can trade this information in the forward market as a financial contract. But be careful, this is where it becomes a live trade. This is a dynamic process that requires ongoing management. And here's the catch. The institutional framework works, but only if you're allowed into the market. For decades, individuals haven't been. The tools have existed, the contracts have existed, the pricing signals existed, but access was limited to airlines, supermarkets, trading houses, and governments. So consumers carried the volatility instead. Every spike, every shock, every geopolitical event, you didn't choose that exposure. It was simply assigned to you. And this is the most important part people miss. This isn't because the problem is too complex. It's because no one translated an institutional system into something individuals could actually use. Once you understand what you're exposed to, when that exposure hits, and which price actually matters to you, the solution becomes obvious. Not trading, not leverage, not even speculation. This is a price protection layer built on the same markets institutions have relied on for decades, but redesigned for everyday life. Now, we've built that layer. We started with fuel because it's the most visible, the most painful, and the easiest place to prove this works. And in the next video, I'll show you exactly what that looks like, how it works, what it protects, and why this is the first step towards changing how consumers interact with energy markets forever. Once you see it, the old system won't make sense anymore. So hit the bell, click subscribe, and check out the next video.